welcome back to 5-Minute Life Hacks. I'm your host, Natalia Ambrosia, coming at you from my bedroom in Los Angeles, California. I've just lit some Palo Santo to clear the energy, and it smells really good. In this episode, I'm going to give you a quick little trick to unpack stress or anxiety. So this episode was actually inspired by something that happened this week. I was really stressed out this week because I had so much going on. I had to record podcast episodes. I had a week of filming going on. I had other projects and just piling work. And I felt myself being anxious all day and all night. And actually, I was able to sleep. I was able to fall asleep really easily because I was working all day and I was just passing out at night. But I'd find myself waking up in the middle of the night around 3 or 4 or having just light sleep, maybe not being fully awake, but light sleep. And then I'd wake up in the morning feeling stressed and anxious and not rested at all. So it was really annoying. So I started getting advice from friends and doing reading and reaching out to people on Instagram. And people gave me loads of great advice, like write a list, drink some tea, don't look at your phone, everything. I was reading about books and everything, but it just wasn't helping because my problem wasn't about going to sleep. It was about staying asleep, taking melatonin and CBD and all that worked, but it was just my brain was not sleeping. So what I decided to do was one night when I woke up in the middle of the night, I grabbed my notebook and I said, okay, I'm writing this list. Even though I've made loads of lists, I'm a great list maker. I love my lists. Literally, I write like 20 lists a day. So I started writing my list and I was like, okay, what are you stressed about? Need to record podcast episodes. Okay, need to finish shooting. And then I realized this list is not helping. I'm just writing down my to-do list and I've already done that. And then I realized, okay, why are you stressed about the podcast episodes? And then I thought in my head, oh, what if no one likes my podcast episodes? And then I kind of moved on and then I was like, no, let's stick with that for a second. What if no one likes my podcast episode? Who cares? Okay, well, I care, obviously. But why do you care? Well, if people don't like them, they're not going to listen. And I was like, well, if they're not going to listen, that's okay. And then I thought to myself, there's an example. I forgot to turn off the sound on my computer and I've just got Slack messages going. It's like there's messages beeping at all times and people are reaching me. And I'm really lucky to be able to have work and friends and people that want to reach me, but it's really stressful sometimes. And so I was like unpacking, as I call it. I literally felt like I was going through a suitcase of all the emotions and stress in my brain. And I kept asking myself, why? So anyway, I was stressed out about a podcast episode, for example, and I asked myself, why are you stressed out, Natalia? Well, what if people hate it? Okay, so what if people hate it? And I said, well, what if I can't record it? What if I don't know exactly how to say it? And I thought, okay, well, then I've also got the second podcast episode to record. So anyway, you get the picture. I started asking myself why, and then I started answering some of my questions. I was giving myself too much to do because I give myself too many expectations, and I realized I was stressed because I was trying to record, for example, 4 podcast episodes when really I only really needed to do 1 at the bare minimum for the week. And so that's how I came to that conclusion by asking myself why, and what can you do about it? Why are you stressed about this? And then once I wrote this down, I wrote my whys and I wrote my solutions, and I did this for everything. So why are you stressed out about filming? Because I'm stressed out, I'm not going to get everything done. What do you need to get done? What is the minimum thing you need to get done in order to not be stressed? And so I wrote that down. And I went through this with everything in my to-do list. And I said, what are the things you need to do this week? And do that. And then I actually just finished my list, asked myself why, and I swear I slept like a baby. And I woke up, I was still a little bit tired because I woke up in the middle of the night, but the anxiety had gone. I had been anxious all week and the anxiety had gone. And I felt like still a little bit of the stress. That's normal, but I haven't had anxiety since. And so in this episode, what I want you to do is I want to challenge you. Next time you're feeling stressed or anxious, try and unpack that a little bit more. You might already write lists, but what I want you to do is not just write to-do lists, write why are you stressing about this? And then why, and keep asking yourself why until you get to the root of the problem and maybe a solution. And I know that won't always happen. You won't always be able to get to the root of it, but it'll bring you closer to feeling less stressed. And I promise you, it'll reduce your stress level at least a little bit, if not completely. So knowing more about what's going on internally and why you're feeling this way helps you be your own friend, kind of like what I talked about in the voice notes in case you haven't listened to that episode. But you're kind of soothing yourself and telling yourself it's going to be okay. and you're going to get through this, and you are, I promise you. And try this. I'm sure it'll help, and then let me know what you think. As always, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you thought about this challenge, and just reach out to me at Natalia Ambrosia on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast as well. Have a great day. You're amazing. Thank you for listening. Bye.